Hi, my name is Lauren and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your film live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your TV show, sitcom, and showcase and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are exciting times that we're in. Traditional TV is but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is on the Roku platform. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It has a viewership of 53 million and counting. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and showcasing your movie or show, or interested in coming in as a sponsor or advertiser, please send us your contact information with a brief description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Talk Show King Show. I am King Jason, and to my left,
We got King Famous.
And you have King Eric, and to my left,
I'm King Darwin, and together
we are the Talk Show Kings.
Kings.
all right.
Well, once again, I thank you for everybody for joining this week's episode. We first want to give thanks to Felix, who is the owner and producer of the show. We also want to thank for all of our viewers who are currently watching. We want to thank the city of Douglasville, and also the county of Douglas County government as well. So today we have a lot to cover, and the first thing we're going to talk about is our hot topics. So our first hot topic is currently about the roles and positions that our women in our household play. So we're going to kind of talk about, what is it that we believe that a woman's responsibilities are, and how it affects each generation down the line, from each woman, each mother, auntie, grandmother, and so on in each family. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So King Famous,
Yes.
what are your thoughts about this topic today?
Well, I think the woman, first of all, within the household, I think is the strongest part, the strongest element of the household, because women definitely motivate men, in my opinion. So I think if you have a woman that's a strong motivator and stuff, that a household can be run very well, as long as the man, I shouldn't say as long as the man, being that the man basically wants to take care of his wife, protect his wife and his family and kids, because he's want to be that strong pillar in the household and stuff. The woman's a great motivator in the household.
Well, for me, yeah, you're right. A woman can motivate a man, and sometimes they can motivate him in different ways.
Very true.
So it all depends on the household when it comes to that, to define that role for the woman that's of the house.
King Darwin?
My thoughts on the woman's role, I would say that I think women are very instrumental in relationships, of course. I think we both are instrumental in relationships. But at the same time, I think the society has leaned a little bit more stronger for women as being more the head of the household these days in a black community, I would say, anyway, far as, economically. I think that me, since being down here in Georgia now, which is my new home, I see a lot of women running a lot of these businesses now, where back home it was a lot of male dominance. Well, down here I think it's a lot of female dominance, in the businesses and the companies that's going on. And I know during my past years, just being in the business and working and in the corporate world, it can get challenging, with a woman at the lead far as in business. But at home, it's the same thing too. I think, a lot of women are very, I guess I would say,
Independent.
Headstrong, independent these days. I think that leads to a lot of conflict though in the male and female relationship, especially if you got a dominant male. But, something to be talked about.
Yeah, and it kind of also reminds me as you were talking about the different roles that women plays, and then I was thinking about the previous generations of how can't remember the year exactly, but even when the men were out battling in wars, the women took over the home. They were running the house. They were running the medical system. They were even helping out with the military as well. So while their husbands and fathers and brothers and all of that were out battling, they were taking care of everything. So that's a major responsibility, and how those kind of like went on. And then you had the grandmothers who were teaching their daughters how to do certain responsibilities around the house, and then how that also went passed on to the next generation, where that mother taught her daughter how to do those responsibilities or similar responsibilities, so on and so on. But then there was a cutoff somewhere between where it started, declining on the generations of the role of what a woman's supposed to do or what a woman is, to where how it affects women now currently. If you're looking at how we talk about the music industry, the movie industry, that's in part of another topic later on today as well, how it all affects each generation differently. So that's a great thing that we had discovered. I mean, not discovered, but discussed about.
Well, I figured that this topic really needs to be its own topic.
Oh yeah,
as on the show, maybe later on, because there's a lot of things that you can really delve into when it comes to this.
I agree.
For me, especially when you talk about the generation and how certain things was passed along.
Yeah.
I mean, just that alone. I mean, we could talk about how that stopped. I mean, what stopped that is, again, we look at the government.
Correct.
Section 8 stopped a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up to our attention. We sure enough will discuss that further on in another episode to go into more of a deep perspective of that topic. Excuse me. So the next thing on our hot topic today is, I'm not much of an NBA fan. I'm more of an NFL. So we're going to kind of cover that. King Darwin, you want to catch us up on what's been going on with NBA lately?
Oh, well, we're looking at Game 7, guys. Game 7. So, in OKC. I think, in my opinion, Indiana has played a terrific season. Hats off to Indiana. And it's going to be a game tonight. So I'm thinking that OKC is going to end it at home. But at the same time, my hats definitely go off to the Indiana Pacers, the fans and the city of Indiana. They have definitely put on a show this whole NBA Finals.
I haven't heard much about the Pacers and having a good season like that since I was a kid. When me and my family used to live in Indianapolis, Indiana, that's when we used to watch the Pacers with Reggie Miller on the team. And, dude, he could throw some threes, back in them times.
Oh, he's a heck of a player.
Oh, yeah, he was. But not hearing the Pacers now in a good area, good standard, that's really good to hear. Any other feedback?
Yeah, you know, one thing I said when we first talked about the Pacers, one thing I said, you can't let them stay or stick around. So now they're at a game 7 in the NBA Finals. Think about it. The last time they was in the NBA Finals was in 2000, 25 years ago. Was the last time they were in the finals. They lost to the Lakers, of course. I mean, but who didn't lose to the Lakers back then? They had Shaq, Kobe. I mean, come on. So, but I'm hoping that OKC, I want to see OKC pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers won because OKC played around with them too long, and you can't let a team like that just stick around.
You can't.
You can't.
No.
Yeah, I think because I think it's about that time for them. Indiana, that is.
It's been overdue.
Like you're saying, 25 years. It's like the city is ready for it. History's ready to be made and everything. So I think if anything, they're going to play their hardest tonight because they want to make history. It's been a long time, and I think they want to make history. So I know it's going to be a fight to the finish. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Well, it'll be the first championship for both franchises. So
whichever one wins.
Whichever one win.
Oh, okay. Well, so Oklahoma, they haven't won.
They've been. They went when they had Durant, Westbrook, and the Beard.
Yeah.
So that was the last time they went. So, but the Indianapolis was 25 years ago.
That's why I say that.
Yeah.
I think they're the most hungriest because it's been the longest.
And I do agree. You cannot let them
25
stick around.
years?
You can't.
That's two generations.
That is
2 generations to make a big difference for that city.
The Celtics messed up. They let them stick around. Who else? The Knicks let them stick around.
Cavs.
Yeah.
So did they beat the Cavs? So who beat? No, the Cavs.
Not the Cavs.
They
not
wasn't.
the Cavs,
They didn't.
not
They
the
didn't get
Cavs.
beat by the Cavs. I mean, they didn't beat the Cavs. They beat the Celtics. Then they beat the Knicks, and now they on route to beat. Come on.
Well, me as an old Indiana Pacers fan, I kind of just cross my finger. They win this one. So it is overdue. They deserve a championship. It's been a while.
Well, me being a Tennessee Titans fan, I don't like anything out of Indiana.
Well, things get better in overtime. Who knows? So what I said, I believe that covers our hot topics for today.
Well, we have one more. Remember the couple.
My apologies. You're right. So there's actually one last hot topic that I completely forgot pretty quickly. Last year, if I'm correct, there was a couple in Clayton County who were expecting their child to be born, and they went to a hospital, and the doctor who was in charge of giving birth to their child, he ended up pulling the child's head off, and which was very, unimaginable type of incident to ever happen. Any family could never imagine how tragic that is for that couple, where now they have taken that doctor to court and sued him. And if I'm correct, I believe they won the lawsuit as well from one of the kings we're talking about.
$2.25 million.
Yes. And that was on the doctor that they had hired to investigate the case, because once he was investigating it, he had took the videos, had videos and pictures, and he actually posted it online. Can you imagine your child's videos of its decapitated body and pictures being posted online and on these social platforms,
social media
for people to
platforms?
see? That's just
that is very
That's
sickening. And hearing something like that also reminds me where I don't remember who it was, but some people during the Kobe Bryant's helicopter accident, someone took pictures and video of the crime scene showing some of the deceased bodies and leaked it on the social media. Having that type of mentality or to do those type of activities, that is a high level of sickening that I can't even imagine. Yeah. How could you have the audacity to do something like that?
And when I look at the mother, from just that experience in itself, I mean, for you to be the person, the woman in this case, to give birth to a child, and that happens, I mean, everyone's on the outside looking in, but imagine what she has to go through and live with. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because it happened to her.
Oh yeah.
So if she ever to have children again, that memory's gonna always be there, and that may put fear in her because of that. So I mean, just to me, I'm looking at the mother, you know, and what she had to go through for that to happen. I mean, I don't know if that was the first child, but either way, I mean, when I think about that, I'm like, whoa, that mother, she's the first probably recorded history for that to happen to, and for if anything, I pray for her.
Yeah, it's just been out of control, and that's just goes to show us that we need to start taking our matters in our own hands. You know, we can't keep going to these doctors anyway, far as, you know, for birth, you know, for having birth, because for first, they don't, you know, do the procedure right. You know, they have you laying on a bed, having a woman laying on the bed, which goes against gravity. You know, our women are supposed to squat when they're having birth. You know, and so it's going to be even harder when they're actually laying on their back trying to push a child out. And then next thing you want to know, they want to give them some type of drugs and epidurals to try to ease the pain. That's going to cause more problems.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to actually start using, I think they're called doulas. Doulas is women that actually help women have natural births, you know, without the shots and just naturally using the laws of nature.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. My wife and I, we had discussed that where whenever we have kids, we want to do that type of labor as well because it's natural.
Absolutely.
You know, it's something that was meant for it to happen instead of laying on your back of the bed. You know,
it's going to cause problems.
Correct.
How you going to be able to push a child out and you laying on your back? You know.
Oh yeah.
It's just crazy.
King Eric,
But
what you think about it?
up.
I think they deserve more than that.
I agree.
And I think that they will get more than that once they get finished with the hospital.
Yeah.
The doctor himself who actually performed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they will be set.
Completely.
And their kids will be set. The next child that they have.
Oh yeah.
So I totally agree with what they got. But again, it should have been more though. But they'll get it.
And plus, with this type of incident, this is something medical institutes should, you know, take serious and to better improve the training when it comes to birth, because you want to make sure you prevent something like this from happening. I mean, you can consider it pretty much malpractice.
That's it.
I can't even understand and can't even believe how it could even happen. You know, that's just beyond my imagination. How could you actually decapitate a child at birth? I'm not understanding.
Same here. I completely agree. When I first heard about the story, I was trying to just picture and imagine how could you do that. I mean, you have to really pull like a level of power to where you literally tear the skin off of a newborn baby.
That's unimaginable.
It is unimaginable. So I continue, and I'll say this to the family. If you guys are watching, you guys are still in our prayers. Most definitely, we pray that you guys will be able to fully recover, because this is something that will take years to recover, if not a lifetime healing. This is a life that was innocently taken away. So, but we appreciate, you know, the love and respect that we give to you guys. And now we're going to go ahead and go to our first our main discussion today, which is, once again, our current President Trump has done something that is not much a shocker, but it is devastating. So last night, we found that it was released on his Twitter account that he released 30,000 pounds of explosives on Iran's 3 nuclear plants. Now, last week we discussed similar topic, but now it's getting worse. What do you guys think about this, Kings?
Again, this shows another level of stupidity of our president. And when you thought that it couldn't get any lower or any more crazier than that, it does. It does. And wasn't he the main one who said, oh, we just want to be peaceful. We don't want to butt in all these other We don't want to jump in all these other countries' wars and affairs and everything. We need to make America great again and stick with building up the United States economy and all of this other stuff. But yet and still, you
funny.
drop bombs on a country that ain't even worried about us.
And it's funny that you said that. I have a picture that shows the Twitter post that he had put. Let's go ahead and show that picture real quick. While we discuss this, let our viewers see this post while we discuss more about it, hearing from each of the kings. Because just by reading it along, I was done. Because this type of thing really upsets me to a level to where now I got to make sure my family is safe, make sure I'm safe, because we don't know what's going to happen. But let's go ahead and show that picture. So, King Darwin, what are your thoughts about this?
My thoughts is it's terrible, man. I just wish the United States would stay out of everybody's business and let countries fend for themselves, right? Because all it's going to do is bring more trauma and backlash on us, literally. So I feel that, we should stay out of other countries' business, man. But I know they're all in the bed with each other.
1,000% agree.
I just, and it's been going on for forever. But at the same time, I just feel that we need to really keep our nose in our own business.
In 5 months, he's been in office 5 months. He has caused a war, started a war.
Well, he didn't start the war. They've been fighting over there.
Well,
he ain't start the Palestinian war.
No,
he didn't start
I'm talking about
the Russian war. He didn't start any of them. But it's just the fact that he's taking sides in the war.
But he dropped the bomb on them. They hadn't done anything to us.
Yes, but he's
I'm like
siding with
what
Israel.
Muhammad Ali said. They ain't did nothing to me.
You're right about that.
So why we over
that.
Taking Israel's back, though. This is what it's all about. They say I'm trying to say fear, the other countries in fear of these nuclear weapons that they may have. But at the same token, I mean, everybody has nuclear weapons. Israel has nuclear weapons.
What are your thoughts, King?
Well, I mean, what it comes down to is, I shouldn't say what it comes down to. My opinion of it is like, I stopped wondering what we're going to do in reference to what goes on in the rest of the world. I agree. If it don't directly pertains to us, and they probably do in a way that I'm not aware of, but I don't see where it pertains to us, where we need to be involved. But at the same time, like they always say, why are we designated peacemaker for the whole world, in so many words? I think if it's something that's been going on, they need to work out. They need to work it out. Now, if they ask for the assistance, then that's cool. What they do behind the scenes to make these decisions for this happen, I don't know, don't understand. And I'm not going to waste the mental capacity to try to figure it out. But to me, it's almost been like reality TV, watching this go down. It's surprisingly, definitely a big surprise because I don't expect these things. But when they do happen, I'm like, okay, let me sit back and watch because I want to see the end result. What's going to be the outcome, like you were saying? Is it going to be a war? I mean, I'm looking at that. So I see what has happened. I can't change that. I'm not worried about it. My attitude is, okay, based off of what has happened, the cause, what's going to be the effect? And that's what I want to pay attention to.
So when you guys saw the post, what first came to mind when you, after finished reading it? What were your thoughts about that?
It's funny how he put at the end, now we shall have peace. Really? You really think this is about to bring peace? That was the most dumbest statement that you can make. We're not about to have peace. The peace has been thrown out the window.
Not one
because
bit.
You have broken every United Nations war talks or whatever they have. You have broken all of that. You didn't even go and talk to Congress about it.
Oh, he did. Only
the Republicans.
Only the Republicans.
My bad.
And that was another thing that really teed me off. You secretly only had the Republicans aware of this and not the Democrats. But not only that, they've been planning this for months because Secretary of Defense, he stated in a news interview, oh, we've been planning this. We just didn't tell nobody. We didn't tell nobody because we didn't know when it was going to happen. Oh, you knew it. If you were already planning this in advance, you knew what was going to happen. I mean, once again, as King Darwin said, we've been supporting Israel with this for a minute. And if you guys, and I don't know if you guys had watched the Ted Cruz interview, He even said we've been giving $30 billion, if I'm correct, $30 billion to Israel every year.
So there's that other thing. So everybody that voted for Trump, there go your transparency that you asked for that you're not getting.
But don't forget, they were funding Israel before Trump got in office because there was a big discussion, and that's how we found out. It was during Biden's administration when we found out that they were supporting Israel, because that was when they found out that we were sending missiles over to Israel to attack Gaza, which is completely another genocide. And then now we find out 30 billion of our tax dollars is going to Israel. We have people that are hungry, people that are homeless, people that are sick, people that are disabled, and you giving free money away that we work hard for? Oh no.
See, it's okay for them to do it though. It's okay for them. It's okay when I say them, I mean the Republicans. It's okay for the Republicans to do it because they're not the Democrats, and because they find everything and anything that the Democrats are doing wrong, and they fighting amongst each other instead of trying to work together. But yet and still they say they want to have peace. But what you just did by not even going to the Democrats, bringing it up to them, you're still not playing in the same sandbox. That's what you're doing. You're not playing in the same sandbox. So it's like you want to tell somebody after the fact. Come on.
Yeah, it's going to blow up, because like you said, Iran, they have allies. And, of course, United States and Israel have their allies. And so when they feel that Iran is getting picked on by the bullies of us, of the United States, then they're going to have their allies try to step in and do something. And then it's just going to be a snowball effect. In my opinion, that's what I see happening here in the future. It's just going to be a snowball effect against these countries, which a lot of us has already been ready for.
Yeah, and
heard about.
And you spoke about the allies. Okay, who are their allies to Iran? Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that Trump's best friend?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trump's best friend.
No, that's not his best friend. That's his pimp.
Same thing. Same thing. And then who else? Korea, China. Come on, man. All these folks, you so busy worrying about nuclear weapons in Iran, but the main countries that have nuclear weapons who are allies with Iran are the ones you need to be worried about, because they're the ones that's going to use them.
What are your thoughts, King?
I mean, there's just a lot of money flowing around. It's just, I'm real big on cause and effect. And see, there's their differences, whether it's political, economic, religious, spiritual, whatever. But once again, it's like what's making all this happen. Well, I shouldn't say what I believe making all this happen is the money. The need for money, the greed. It's that money. They're doing whatever they're doing to get this money for whatever they're doing it for, and we're looking at this and not at this anymore. All that's going on. See, that's why to me it's reality. It's reality TV, because I'm like, okay, if we're doing this now, number one, it takes money.
That's it.
Who's authorizing all this flim-flam money going off to all this stuff that's going on? And that what bothers me, because like you were saying earlier about the things we need to be done here in our country. The things we overlook here in our country. I'm like, I don't mind giving out when I'm able to give to those I see on the street. See what I'm saying? And these individuals we need to be helping with all this money, as y'all were saying. It's right here. We can start here. We want to make it great again, build this country, help everyone that you can who needs to be helped and can be helped. But other than that, it's like, I look where the money's at. I'm like, why we ain't talking about this money? It takes money for all this to happen, but nobody's really talking about that. Talking about that, but I'm like, let's find out who got the purse and let's handle that.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing, the money thing. And with that, we all know that Trump is not for the lower class or the middle class. So all the money, no matter every move he makes, he's being dangled as a puppet, because the ones with the money are the ones that's making the money off the wars. And who's funding? Okay, who has the most weapons to fund the war? Back in the day, it was Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that it's not the same company?
So speaking about money, Iran cut off the oil supply, and the U.S. gets like about 20-some% of that, 20-something% of that oil. So now, who's that's going to affect? It's going to affect us. Because now our gas prices are going to go to the roof, and they are already talking about it's going to go between $3 to $5 or $5 to $7 a gallon. We are already struggling as is.
And that's what I say about the effect. And like they knew all this was going to happen, they know these things can happen. And it's like, okay, so who's really allowing this to happen? I think there's individuals who want this to happen, individuals who don't want it, but they're like I said, that money and that power is just like so many individuals, like you were saying, puppets are useless in this situation. But my attitude is we definitely got to continue to, in whatever ways we can, I'm saying as people, and I'm going to say as Americans, so many words, to band together. We need to kind of get to the bottom of what's going on so we can just have the best lives for ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't mind the politics and everything that's going on, but I'm like, when I lay back in the bed at night and I relax and I look at my home and what's going on and what's happening, I'm like, okay, do I have peace here? And that's my number one priority. Now, what's going on outside of my home, to me, until it actually becomes in and affects my home, then I'm going to be more active on doing something about it. I like we're doing, speaking about it, to bring the awareness and education information so that we can come together and make this better. But at the same time, I'm letting whoever this is behind this know, I ain't got the dollars to get to you, but when they come to my home, you're going to see me out there doing what people are doing to make changes in this country.
Yeah. And, because of what Trump did to Iran, I have a video clip I want you guys to watch. This is a response from Iran. I believe it came out sometime today. So let's go ahead and watch that clip, and we're going to come back and hear what the kings say about it. Wow.
U.S. military aggression, but also the reckless and unlawful actions of the Israeli regime. While President Trump was elected on a platform of putting an end to America's costly involvement of forever wars in our part of the world, he has betrayed not only Iran by abusing our commitment to diplomacy, but also deceived his own voters by submitting to the wishes of a wanted war criminal who has grown accustomed to exploiting the lives and wealth of American citizens to further the Israeli regime's objectives. The U.S. act of aggression against Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities constitutes not only a flagrant breach of the UN Charter, especially the prohibition of the use of force under Article 2, Paragraph 4, and the obligation to respect the state's territorial integrity and sovereignty, but also a violation of UN Security Council Resolution 2231. It cannot be emphasized enough how much of a devastating blow that the US, a permanent member of the Security Council, has dealt to the global non-proliferation regime. The Islamic Republic of Iran reminds the United Nations, the Security Council, the UN Secretary General, the International Atomic Energy Agency, and other relevant international bodies of their duty and responsibility to take urgent and decisive action in response to this breach of international law. Silence in the face of blatant aggression will plunge the world into an unprecedented level of danger and chaos. He has come too far as a species to allow a lawless bully to take us back to the law of the jungle. Islamic Republic of Iran calls on the Security Council to convene an emergency session to unequivocally condemn the criminal act of aggression by the United States against Iran and to hold the administration in Washington accountable for its violations of fundamental principles of United Nations Charter and of norms of international law.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching that video. While you guys allow this to marinate into your mind, we're going to go in a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to discuss it more with the Kings. See you in a minute.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rearview mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you,
Thank
too.
you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure keep our community safe. We are one.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
All right, viewers, thank you for your patience. Thank you for viewing our show, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you guys had plenty of time to let that video just marinate, as we are now going to talk about it. So, King Eric, what are your thoughts on the video that was just shown?
Well, he just said it. He said that there will be retaliation. So you should know that there's no peace. If they told you, if somebody tell you they gonna do something if you do something, why don't you believe that? Why don't you take heed to that? I mean, I know sometimes some people want to, push the bear, poke the bear a little bit just to see. But when you're dealing with other people's livelihood and lives, period, when you're dealing with other people's lives, period, sometimes peace is not going throwing bombs and throwing rocks and then then you come back and you say, look at what I did. I did this because I'm bigger than you. Our army is better than yours. That means we may have the best army in the world, but right now our strategic leader is sucking.
Not only him, but also the Secretary of Defense too.
We don't have nobody that's in power that knows anything right now.
No. In my opinion, this entire administration are clueless of what they're doing. You even fired top-ranked military officers. And not only that, they also enlisted several high-tech CEOs to a lieutenant colonel.
But go back to this. What about all the information that they lost that's been put out in public for public use because of Doge? What about all that information that was leaked out of all the CIA agents, all the secret spies? We don't know what these people got a hold of. So now not only are you jeopardizing Americans' lives, you're jeopardizing American lives that's supposed to protect the country.
True. You're exactly right. What are your thoughts?
Well, tune in to TV 1061 Reality TV. It's going to be quite interesting in the sense that, are they going to retaliate? See, it always begin with the talk. I pray to God that it doesn't happen, but right now it's talk. My attitude is, what's the reason for it? Is it because we're trying to get back to the negotiate? Well, I mean, the damage has been done, so I don't know if they're going to do anything. But if they do, then what? See, that's my thing. If they do retaliate, then what? So have they prepared for that?
So don't forget, remember, Iran signed a peace treaty in if I'm correct, the Obama administration. And then when Trump got in office, he canceled it. And after he canceled it, now he wants to reinstate it. But you want to reinstate it, and then you're gonna nuke him. What kind of mess is that?
That's what I just don't understand. I don't understand just the back and forth of the whole situation, of this whole, presidency. Because first he said what? He was going to give him 2 weeks to talk about it. Next thing you know, he's dropping bombs. You understand? So you're giving mixed signals. And other countries see that, and they say, well, what can they can't take this man's word for nothing, because they already see that he's just speaking out his mouth one day and his actions show another.
When I found out that someone said he was going to give 2 weeks to make a decision, right, I already knew that wasn't going to happen. He don't have no patience.
Yeah, and that's just crazy. Why would you say something and then just go back against your own word? So he just can't be trusted at all, as far as with anything he says.
But see, that's the thing about, I think people really need to sit down and think about, is when you cannot come to a mutual agreement with your Senate, House of Representatives, and your administration for something this major, that's putting your whole nation in danger.
Yes, and how does it look? How do we look? Because he's representing us.
Yes.
So how do he look towards, with the other countries?
Stupid.
Exactly. So it don't look good for us.
It doesn't, because I've seen other social media platforms where people are laughing at us right now. They're literally laughing. We are a laughing stock. We are a joke. And me as an American, that's an insult to me. But it's not my fault that our leadership is the way that it is. I'm not saying that it's just this current administration. This has been going on for decades. Looking at how Congress has sold us out for lobbyism. They getting paid 6 figures to millions by the lobbyists just to please them, instead of making sure the American people who put you in office is first.
And to me, that's what's so sad about it. Like the point you're making is that all this is going on, and then there's the rest of the people in the world, and we get affected by it. It's like they don't really concerned about, okay, this is what we're going to do as the big dogs. We're going to do these things, and we're dealing with nations and countries and governments, et cetera, and programs for human beings on the planet. And when they make these decisions, these big decisions, it affects us. You know, they may not see how it affects us, but it does. And to me, it's like, you know, where is the concern for that? I mean, we know the story. They don't even live in our world. But my attitude is, what bothers me is that these decisions they make on both ends, it affects us. And that's not, in my attitude, like, although we may be ants to them, we need to come together and take over the hive, as they say.
They don't care.
I know.
That's just the bottom line. They don't
That's why I don't
care.
like none of them.
They only care about making their pockets fatter. Just like you said, the money. The money. And no matter what you say, they can't. You can't convince me. You can't tell me that there is not enough money out here to stop homelessness. There is not enough money out here to make don't say make America great again, but there's not enough. You can't say that there's not enough money out here to make America the greatest financial country in the world. But yet still you out here sending bombs to places that, while you got China and Japan and all these other countries that's way more advanced in technology than we are, but we got the most advanced technology. Man, go to hell.
And my attitude is also, like the point you was making, there's 340 plus million people in America. See what I'm saying? And the amount of money that's out there doing all this drama and stuff can not only help us, it can help, I mean, it's trillions. You know, although it can help us, you know, just a sprinkle of that. I mean, the other 8 billion people, there's enough money that if we just do the right things, make the better decisions with the money, in so many words, we can make changes in the world. That's my thing. It's like, okay, the money is there. If it's about money, give us some of it to make a difference, to do what we got to do to help you to make the country or the world better. But it's like, I don't know. It's a money show. Everybody will have to have their trillion. I mean, what the hell?
They don't want to see us advance. They don't want to see us advance. They don't want a little small town like Douglasville advancing, like Lithonia, Georgia advancing, like Lineville, Alabama advancing. They don't want that because, see, then y'all got too much. You got too much money. We'll give you this, but we're getting all of this. We'll give you that. That's what we want you to have, and that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But and if they do give you the information, they say, well, they can tell you, well, we had all this money over here set aside for you, but guess what, though? In order to get it, you didn't show us how to get that money. You didn't tell us that. You said it's grants, but you didn't show us how to get these grants. You didn't have nothing and you put so much stipulations on this and that, but yet and still you can't even have a stipulation on being the president of the United States. You can still be a felon and still be the president, but you can't even be a felon and work at McDonald's half the time.
Completely
depending
agree.
on who own it.
And then, as you had said before the show started, you know, he wanted to be a dictator. So having the dictator mentality, he don't care about nobody or nothing but himself. And then speaking of that, I mean, even the Democratic Party had no clue that was going to happen. They didn't even know he was going to drop that bomb on Iran. They had no idea. I even watched a few minutes of Congresswoman Jasmine. She was saying, I forgot her last name, Jasmine Crockett, when she was literally sitting in the car telling us we had no clue of this. We didn't find out about it until after the activity was done.
And that's how you know that he's laying in the bed with these other countries, you know, because that's proof. Because if you're just making calls like that without affirming that with, you know, the other counterparts, you know that he's getting his pockets padded by someone and some country. Because that just doesn't even add up, right? I mean, who just
he getting his pockets. He getting his pockets padded. I ain't mean to cut you off, but he getting his pockets padded by somebody.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it ain't necessarily somebody from another country. He could probably getting his pockets padded by somebody right here in the United States.
And don't forget about his cryptocurrency he has. That's another illegal thing that he's doing. He's getting paid off of cryptocurrency by top billionaires.
No.
Don't sit there and tell me he's innocent. Don't sit there and tell me he's God sent.
But we know he ain't innocent. We know this.
I'm sorry, viewers, but that is the truth. How can you say that someone is God sent who is literally committing all type of crimes, all types of sins right in front of our eyes.
And don't forget, viewers, you can call in if you have anything to say. 770-485-7724.
We would love to hear your feedback. We really would, because this is our future. This is our home. This is our country that we have to look out for, that we have to protect. So it's just really mind blowing to me on that part. So another thing about this story, you know, me and the Kings were talking while you guys were watching the video, is, are they actually going to do what they said they're going to do? Or is it just word of mouth? Because we know a lot of times talk is cheap. But the question is, are they going to actually do it? Well, Trump did what he said he was going to do, and he did it. So we wondering, is it going to happen in the same thing in retaliation? What are you guys' thoughts about it?
Well, I hope they don't, because like see my poking the bear. It's like, okay, if you throw an arrow at us and we shoot back a cannonball, see what I'm saying? It's like, to me, there's what can happen to that country if they were to retaliate against us and we in turn retaliate against them. I believe they'll be hurt more than we will, because we're the one with a 30,000 pound bomb opposed to them. So my thing is, the back and forth is not going to help nobody. It's going to hurt more than it's going to help. That's why I'm just praying that they find, I mean, there's nothing, I'm praying they find a way around this. But like you were saying, for it to go back and forth is no good for nobody. It's a no win for nobody. But my attitude is, you see what the USA is working with. I don't know if you want to really play over there. That's like the high school team going to go play against the NBA team. Now, it wasn't fair to the NBA team, you know, did something, but we're going to have to use a little, I'm not going to say common sense, but once again, because I'm assuming about what's going on behind the scenes, money going to make something happen. It's not going to be another good decision. I don't think it'll be a good decision, whatever happens.
You know, this thought keeps running through my mind. Money is the root of all evil.
For the love of money. The love of money.
There you go.
Yeah,
Is the root of all
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yes, sir.
So here's another question that you should ask, that we should be thinking about. So Trump said that in his little statement that they took out three of the nuclear facilities, correct?
Correct.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the leader of Iran said that they didn't. So if he said that that those bombs didn't have any effect on it, now what?
So now the question is, where are your weapons? Where are they actually located?
And just who to believe? Smart. Who can you believe anyway?
There it is.
And that's my point. I can't believe anything that they out here saying, because I'm not there to witness. If I'm not there to witness, I can't put my life on the line verifying that, hey, he dropped these bombs, or they caused damage, or they didn't cause damage. That's just all speculation, you know. But at the same time, we just gotta sit back and wait, and hopefully, you know, like you said, you know, I'm totally pro-life, so I think that everything in all these countries can really hash things out without the killing.
So,
you know, but it's just, you know, certain people and certain, you know.
I kind of want to dig a little bit deeper, and I know we got a few minutes left on the show, but Iran is covered with mountains. And you guys remember when we was fighting in Afghanistan, they were having a hard time finding where a lot of people were, but instead they found them. There were secret tunnels in the mountains. So like you said, those weren't their nuclear plants that they were assuming is where the weapons were produced. Could it possibly be somewhere hidden in the mountains again?
Absolutely.
Right, because I mean, again, that goes back to, you say trusting the government. When he took office, he fired a lot of people. A lot of top people. Indeed, that knew a lot of stuff, that gave a lot of intel. So how do we know And how does he know that the intel that was given to him about these locations were accurate?
And not only that, he recently fired another top rank officer this past week.
So I mean, he's trying to be, like you say, he want to be a dictator, but he said he was only going to be a dictator the first day he was in office. But everything he's doing, I guess every day has been the first day he's been in office, because he's been a dictator ever since. And ain't nobody said a word.
Not one.
Nobody is blinking. I guess because they scared that he's making it his own, making it about him, that they so scared they gonna get fired if they say something bad.
And that's the reason they fired the officer recently. He said something against Netanyahu, and that teed off America so bad they swiftly let him go.
And I was going to say, I mean, to piggyback on what he was saying, you know, the information that we're getting from whatever sources that we get it from, at the same time, because we have the left and the right, and that agree and disagree with each other. When this information is put out there, the arguments continue. The separation. See what I'm saying? It's like, to me, the human aspect of it is that somebody died in this incident. Some bodies died. And to me, as human beings, we come together with compassion and feel for those and feel for no more of that. But for things that happen, as it said, you know, on the the news, that separates us. See, that's a problem to me. It's because I got individuals on this side talking about why it's wrong, and people over here saying why it's right. But then instead of arguing what happened, we're arguing with each other. And see, that's that separation that I don't like. Yeah. That's why I listen, I learn. But like you were saying, when it's factual, then okay, I'll deal with it then. But until then, I'm like, okay, not only are we getting this information about what has happened, look what it's doing to us.
Absolutely.
I don't like that part.
And I'm glad that you said it, because it really just flashed in my mind real quick. That's a great example of how people are brainwashed. Because, for an example, as we're talking about it now, if you are against Israel, you're anti-Semitic. If you say anything bad about Israel or the Jews or Netanyahu, you are anti-Semitic. But hold on, what about our First Amendment? We have the freedom of speech, freedom of protest. Oh no, if you do all of that, you're anti-Semitic. You don't support Israel. No. I was like, no. I'm just telling you what I see is wrong.
Yeah, and that's what we got to come out of, you know, as a people. We got to stop being scared to say what we feel. I'm tired of folks want to bite their tongue because of this or because of them or because of, if this is how you feel, you should be able to voice your opinion freely about anything, because they voice their opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And they even do what they want to do. So why can't we? But this is a thing that we have to break free from, this mental enslavement that we're going through, right? Because if we keep allowing our voices not to be heard and trying to stay quiet, it's nothing going to get done. That's just like with our kids, you know. That's just like what's going on, you know, in our school systems. That's just like going on in our workforces, just like going on in any other place out here in this country. You know, we're being scared to voice our opinion and say what we actually feel and stand behind what we believe, you know, wholeheartedly. That's just like with anything, you know, just like with the LGBTQF, whatever they are too, you know, that's not what we believe. That's not what I came up believing. So I don't care what you do on the side, but do I say, you know, do I believe that you should be promoting that in elementary schools or junior highs or high school to young innocent minds? No, I don't. And you know, and so these are other things that we got to start just voicing and coming together on, so that our kids can get a firm understanding on what's right and what's wrong.
Exactly.
Because they're getting mixed views, and they you know, their thoughts are delusion.
Now, I wanted to say this because I was thinking about this while we were talking about it, how we say that none of this affects us. Well, in actuality, it does. It affects us, because guess what? Even though we have men and women that serve in the military, and they signed up for that job they signed up to protect this country. No one wants to see a war. No one wants anybody in their family to go to war.
Exactly true.
No one wants to have a flag delivered to their house because of their loved ones were killed in a war. So I know that somebody has, at least one of us, I know that we all have somebody in our family that's in the military, and they have to deal with that. Their parents have to deal with it. Their spouses have to deal with it. Their family have to deal with it. So my prayers go out to them as well, because we don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know, and it's just something that's just reality, that it is going to affect us.
So with this being our last few minutes of the show, we got about 2 or 3 minutes left, and I want to close out on this. And I encourage everybody who are watching our show right now that you continue to practice your freedom of speech, freedom of protest. You continue to contact your elected officials. You let them know how you feel, what your fears are, what your concerns are. I don't care what your party is. I don't care who you are, where you're from. If you are an American citizen, it is our duty to stand up against our elected officials that we voted for to serve us. Not serve Israel, but to serve us. So I want to say that. I'm going to let the Kings go ahead and give out a closing remark, and we're going to end the show. And we hope you guys come back next week and watch us again.
I'm going to say that once again, there's so much going on that's keeping us separated, with whether it's the LGBT, whether it's religion, whether it's political choices, that's keeping us distracted and separated to where we won't come together and get things done as a whole, in so many words. So we need to stop focusing on those things that separate us and focus on that thing that is separating us. You know, we try to eliminate that so we can come together and make this world a better place. This is King Famous.
So I said all of that, and you know, I have to remember I did go to church today.
I did too.
And so one of the things in church they said was you still have to love your enemy. Yes. So I do pray for Trump too, that he can make better decisions. And that's all I have.
Well, I'll just leave you guys with an old saying. They said, and I'm pretty sure y'all have heard it, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I advise any and everyone to stand up for what you believe in. And like you said, it's okay. If you believe in that, that's fine. But if I believe in what I believe in, and these kings believe in what they believe in, that should be fine too. Everybody got their right to believe in what they want to believe, because that's what we have. We have the freedom of thought, the freedom of expression. We have that. That's what the Most High gives us. So, but at the same time, we definitely got to start learning how to work together, and try to build our people.
And once again, I thank everybody for watching TV 1061 Talk Show Kings. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and to mark your Roku channel as a favorite, and come back and watch us again next Sunday at 5 p.m. Or you can watch us continuously on YouTube. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.